but you don't know the life of a showgirl, babe.
Can we get started?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to We Watch TV. It is the podcast about the TV that we watch. I am Daniel. She is Hope. This is episode 119. Do you have any more singing you need to get out of your system?
This is our showgirl era. Wait, let's do... You don't know the life of a podcaster, baby. Babe. You don't know the life of a podcaster, babe. A part-time podcaster.
It's a lot of
We're
this
just in our showgirl era.
and then editing ums out, which I don't do very often, and then
Elizabeth Taylor!
obsessing over download numbers
And then random stimming.
and random stemming. So did any major events take place that you wanted to talk about before we get into the TV show here? I can't imagine what they could possibly be.
Happy Taylor Swift new album, TS12 day. Well, not day, I guess time of our lives to all who celebrate. Miss Taylor Allison Swift released the Life of a Showgirl album. I stayed up until midnight to hear the new tracks, and it was instant love for me. It just, no skips. And really, I think, I'm hearing, I feel like there's one review from The Guardian, I think that wasn't great, but Rolling Stone and Billboard, I think Rolling Stone gave it, a perfect score. So it's doing well for a lot of critics, and I think because I feel like my TikTok likes to rage bait me, and some people are like, I don't like this album, but, everybody that I've talked to, pretty much, all my friends, we all love it, and all kind of have the same opinions, that it's great. And then I've talked to other people that aren't huge Swifties, but they like it too because it's more of a pop vibe. And then I've talked to some other people that aren't really Swifties that they kind of liked more of her, depressing music. For me, this album is a no skip. Every single track is awesome. I am a pop girly through and through. You guys know I like Sabrina, my fellow short queen.
That's pop music, not pop, as in soda.
Yeah, pop music, although I do like pop. Which,
What did you think of this Canada Dry Zero Sugar that I had you try the other day? Speaking of,
it's
to
not
go off on a
bad.
tangent.
It's pretty good.
I think
This is just the life of a podcaster, babe. Let's talk about different things.
So the album came out. You're happy with it?
Yes, and I stayed up so late because I had to listen to it over and over and over again. I love it. Okay, so listen. Each of Taylor's albums resonates with me for a different reason. I've been around since debut, our little country Taylor girl. There's different ones that I like for different reasons, but a lot of my very favorites are kind of this more pop vibe, Lover, 1989, and Midnights, which is one of the more recent ones I absolutely love. The Tortured Poets Department, that was the one before this. I think I still stand by with what I said, that I think that one's still underrated and some of her best work that she's done, whereas a lot of people would disagree with me and think it's Folklore and Evermore, which again were great in their own vibe. But that being said, when it comes to just me listening to music and really enjoying myself, this is it. I love it that she's, kind of in this a happier stage, but I love all the songs. They're all great. It's no skips. No skips.
And so the album came out on Friday, the 3rd of October.
Yes. Mean Girls Day. What day? He asked me what day
Mean
it
Girls
is.
Day, yeah.
It's October 3rd.
Not the last time we're going to talk about Mean Girls on this podcast, but and then Friday night you took us to the local movie theater in order to watch what did they call this?
The official release party of a Showgirl for the Life of a Showgirl album. It featured, we got to see, they didn't drop the music video on YouTube until Sunday evening. So we got to be the first people to see that. So they showed you in this, it wasn't the Eras tour as a concert movie, because that's not what this was. It was more almost an album listening party, if I'm being honest.
Listen, for me, it was 25 solid good minutes of entertainment and then an hour of watching the Windows visualizer with music playing in a dark theater.
Which you don't dislike the album.
No.
You liked the parts about the music video. Like, basically, I really liked it how it kicked it off. She introduced it, and we got to see the music video first thing, because I was like, that was it. Because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, that's interesting that she showed it to us right off the bat, because I knew when I read the description that we were supposed to get behind the scenes stuff, but I actually think doing that made it better. So she showed you, we got to see the music video right off the bat, then we get to see like behind the scenes of the creative process of how they shot the video, the themes that they chose, like the theme of Ophelia from Shakespeare, only this time, Ophelia is not driven crazy by the person she loves. She's, like saved in a way.
Nerdy stuff like camera blocking, lighting, propping,
all the nerd stuff that you like.
And all that stuff that I like.
So we got to see that, and then she did talk about, and I did like it, and I think you did too, like where she introduced each song and kind of talked about the process, what went into that song, what it means to her, how she came up with that. And I think for you, as more of a casual fan, you would have been cool if she just talked about each track and maybe played like a clip of each track. But basically what it was they did like the lyric videos. And for me, who've been listening to the album nonstop, I loved it.
I mean, and also for me, I'm a person who music and how it interacts in my life is music is a thing that's happening as I'm doing another thing. Whether it be working or writing or mowing or running or whatever I'm doing, the music is there, but it's not. And so for me, and my ADHD riddled brain sitting there in a theater and it's just the music, it's like, and it wouldn't matter what the music is, by the way. This is not a,
it could be like Foo Fighters.
Yeah, it could be anything. It's like, this is not how I want to consume the music.
Well, what was interesting for me was when I would look over at you, he'd be like locked in when she'd be talking about the different shots of the video. Like there was one scene where she catches the football and she's like, no, let's do it again. And then I really think like the part where they're like on the boat.
Yeah, I like that.
And they show her jumping off, but she didn't get the shot right. Like I would look over and you were like completely like locked in, enjoying it. And I think because you liked that side of it, the creative side, all like we said, the nerdy stuff. And then I would look at you during the music and you'd be like kind of thinking about the story that you're planning to write right now, which maybe you'll share with our podcaster someday. Daniel has a really good idea for another short story. If you haven't read his short story that got published in, I think it was like an online thing. You have a Substack, right?
Yeah.
What is your Substack? Promote yourself on our podcast.
Oh my gosh, are you asking me to do this just off the top of my head?
I am.
I don't post that often. You've stumped me. I don't know.
It's the life of a podcaster, babe.
I'll post it on social somewhere if anybody wants to see it.
Maybe we'll put it in the episode description. I don't know. We'll put it on Instagram. Follow us at We Watch TV Podcast. But yeah, so Daniel came with me to the movie because he is not a word that rhymes with witch like other people are, and supports me. You were one of two men in our theater. Well, males. Because the other guy, was he like somebody, you said it looked like somebody's brother that had to bring their sister?
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. It looked like a high school.
He had a Tool.
It looked like yeah. He had it was like clearly a high school boy bringing his probably middle school sister to it, and he very intentionally put a black Tool hoodie on to come into the theater. I respected it. I thought that was funny.
I like how my shirt, like I wore like that classic design of like kind of the mint green with the orange font, but I did her quote from the New Heights podcast where she says, let me read the exact quote off my shirt here. I have a picture of the shirt that I wore. My energy is a luxury item. Not everyone can afford it. As a people pleaser, having to say no and do things has always been, that's been like a challenge for me over the past couple of years. So that quote really resonated with me. So I got it from Etsy and it was in the Showgirl font. But then I looked around and like other women that were in the theater with me, they all had like the very similar shirt on with the font. And I'm like, we all really look like we're in like an organization. It's just the Swifties, man. But I had a great time. I knew that it wasn't going to be like the Eras Tour movie because like obviously she hasn't done a concert. It was basically like a listening party for the album. I definitely like, I'm with you though. I think that it could have been made shorter, but then people might have complained about spending money for something shorter. I feel like it would have been fine to have her talk about each song and then maybe just play the clip instead of like the full lyric video. But again, for me as a Swiftie and somebody that loves this album, I didn't mind that at all. But I feel like people have asked me like, well, did Daniel really have fun doing that? I mean, I don't think it was the most fun you've ever had, but he enjoyed popcorn for dinner, ate it in 2 seconds, enjoyed Sour Patch Kids.
I mean,
you were like, after the movie, you're like, I like learning about how they make music videos. And you were pointing out, what'd you say about like a phone? Like you noticed something I didn't even notice about how they filmed it.
I thought it looked like they were filming with an iPhone, which is not uncommon these days, particularly because they were using the entire video was shot with Handycam. They weren't on a mount. It was all somebody like, and it's not shaky cam. They weren't going for that, but it was shot with somebody holding a camera in front of them like this and just walking, not like on any kind of mounting system or anything. And it looked to me like they had just an iPhone in the mount that they had set up there. So
it's just cool to see the creative process. Like I know The Fate of Ophelia, I can tell why she chose that one as her single now. And I elevated the song. I think my official ranking list, which always changes because I'm vibes.
Can I circle back? Can I circle back to the thing you were saying earlier when you said, know, whether I enjoyed going or not, and then you told everybody the reasons why I enjoyed. More importantly, for everybody out there, I like spending time with my wife. Yeah. And taking an interest in the things that my wife is interested in is a way that we can bond, and everybody should take that to heart with their partner.
And that is why Honey is my favorite song from this album, because, well, a lot of people use the words like sweetheart, honey in demeaning ways, and I've always felt that in a passive-aggressive nature. Like Taylor says, when somebody says it sincerely to you, it does mean a lot. And so you can call me honey. Aw, everyone's so sweet.
Okay, honey.
Aw. I'm just smiling now.
Sorry, okay. You threw me completely off with the whole Substack thing, and now I'm realizing that this computer that I'm using right here is signed out of literally every single account I have, whether it's Facebook or Reddit or Twitter, all of them. It's signed out of every single one of them, and so I'm just sitting here like trying to engage in this conversation, but also bashing my head about the fact that it got signed out of everything and I can't stand it. So apologies. I am at the end of my Adderall 12-hour window, so that give me a break.
I got up with you Sunday morning to watch the Browns in
Mistake.
London.
It was not worth it.
I guess the Vikings tried to pull out a win since the Steelers beat the Vikings in Ireland the week before. But anyway, circling back, The Fate of Ophelia is my, I think I'd still agree with this. It's my number 3 favorite track, and it elevated itself because I liked watching the creative process behind the video. But the way the movie ended, or the release party, what if you want to call it a movie, is then we got to see the video again. And I thought it was a lot cooler seeing the video, knowing what went into it. Oh, I'm so proud of you, by the way.
When they started the movie with the video and then started doing the behind the scenes, I knew they were going to play it again.
See, I didn't think so.
Because it gives you that opportunity to then go back and say, "Oh, here's all the stuff they showed you, including what I think you're about to say right here."
Well, I was super excited because you were like Dancing with the Stars guy. Yawn.
I thought you were going to talk about the bread.
Oh, and the bread. If you guys watched her New Heights podcast, Taylor Swift is like, basically she spent her time after the Eras tour making sourdoughs. And this is why I like Taylor Swift, is that at her core, she's such a nerd. And that's something you and her share in common, is you like to make bread. Well, the bread, I don't know, because they dropped the video on YouTube, and I don't know if they talked about the behind the scenes. She was so excited that her bread got to be in the video, and I'm like, that would be you, Daniel, being like so excited that my bread is going to be the video. I was just praising you that you knew Jan,
but I would see I would take it.
Him out.
I would take it too far. I'd be more like Chandler's Cranberries. Then I wouldn't be able to chill about it. I would have to make sure everybody knew that was my bread, and then when they tasted the bread, I'd have to be like, hey. Do you like that bread?
That's kind of how she was, though. She was like, make sure you get it in the shots.
The dog just growled at me.
He's like, to quote another Taylor Swift song, you're being too loud. You need to calm down. All right, so I know our listeners don't want us to talk about Taylor Swift the whole time. Sorry.
I bet they don't.
I could talk about Taylor Swift all the time. I'm just going to give my top 3 because it hasn't changed from the album. Honey, because you can call me Honey. Actually Romantic. I love it. Me some Petty Taylor. Sorry, I do. And then I would put The Fate of Ophelia in my 3 slot. And talking to some of my other friends that aren't exactly Swifties, they were like that, but I've listened to the album, enjoyed it. They're all like, oh, that was my favorite track. Watching the video, I can see why she chose The Fate of Ophelia to be her single. So, Daniel, what is your favorite song from the album?
Okay, so you're asking me my favorite, but then I know you're also going to ask me for a number 2 and a number 3.
Yeah, I know.
And this is difficult for me, but I need to explain why it's difficult for me, because the way that she listens to this music is she's just playing it, so I'm just hearing it somewhere in the house or in the car.
I'm walking around the house stimming
or
probably
somewhere, and I don't have access to the information of what song is this. And so The Fate of Ophelia is the one I think is my favorite. I think it stands out the most. The video really helped kind of solidify that for me as well. I do like Life of a Showgirl, particularly, I think, after hearing the explanation about what it was about. Yeah. And, of course, then I saw that amazing TikTok a couple minutes ago with Miss Piggy, and that just really
you also
sealed
like
the
Sabrina,
deal.
who is featured on the album.
And then probably maybe the Elizabeth Taylor one, and I don't really know why.
Elizabeth Taylor! That's probably because you've been hearing me all day just randomly shouting, Elizabeth Taylor!
Yeah.
All right. Well, believe it or not, guys, we did also, we've been watching some TV.
I don't believe that, actually. I can't. It feels like that because we don't have a show that we're binging right now.
Yeah.
Like we have no binge show whatsoever at the moment. And so all we're doing is sitting around waiting on weeklies to come out. I personally feel like we're watching nothing. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it feels like we're watching nothing.
You could join me and watch Love is Blind that I just started.
Strong pass.
All right, well, we have been watching Only Murders. We've watched 2 episodes since, and we're getting through this season, guys. So we watched season 5, episode 6, Flatbush, and this is where the investigation takes Oliver and Loretta, so we get to see the return of Meryl Streep back to the streets of his childhood, where buried memories surface and secrets about Lester and Nikki's widows emerge. Mabel and Charles follow leads after a break-in. So we got to kind of learn more about Oliver in that one, where he grew up. I didn't know he was in foster care. We got to kind of see how he got into the theater. It's always good to see Meryl back. Yeah. She was like, I need to do my monologue from the Louisiana girl that fell in the well. And I'm like, only Meryl Streep can be such a good actress that she can come off like a bad actress in the middle of something. And then we also watched the most recent episode was episode 7. Silver alert, the mayor warns the trio about...
No, that's the one coming up. That's the one this week. Yeah, we haven't watched that one yet. I was like, what are you talking about?
I'm very confused. I don't think I screenshotted these right.
So they've done the classic thing where they're following the wives of the 2 guys that have died, the doorman and the mobster, those 2 wives. They think maybe they have something to do with it, and I'm in true Only Murders fashion, it was a false lead,
of course,
in that situation. So I still don't. And now they teased us at the end by making us think that we're back to the billionaire people again.
Okay, so we watched episodes 5 and 6.
Yeah.
This episode 5 was where they were thwarted in their investigative podcast plans. Mabel and Oliver look for help from the Arconia support staff. So they're trying, they did in the episode before that, which I'm not sure we talked about a lot because there was so much going on, was they met the billionaires that are kind of, they'd seen, in that room, that casino. And then they actually get a podcast deal with I think something that's supposed to be sort of like iHeartRadio or something.
Right.
But it turns out the people that bought that studio are these billionaires, and they can't mention their names at all in any of the recordings they're doing. So we have that conflict.
But they also kind of got convinced that the billionaires kind of convinced them they weren't involved in the murder in the first place. But now at the end of this last episode we just watched, we find out maybe not, because the weird Rocky IV robot butler doorman guy that's walking around the place who records everything. They ask him to show him surveillance video, and he ends up showing them the video, but in both cases the video is edited, and so then they try to figure out who's the security company, and oh no, I could not believe it, the company's owned by Christoph Waltz's character, who's one of the big tech billionaires, and that now we're turning our sights back to. And I still think, because of where we're at in the season, It was soon,
Yeah.
like, we're too early to be really.
Well, they've tried to pin it on Lester's wife.
Yeah.
They've tried to pin it on Tia Leone,
Yeah.
the mobster's
And they
wife.
got rid of
I
all
still think
that.
she knows more than what she's letting on.
Oh yeah.
I
But-
don't really know. Like, I can tell you honestly, I have no idea where this season's going. Like, I have no suspects. It seems like it's kind of, we have multiple scattered storylines.
Mhm.
I enjoy every episode we watch. I love watching that trio together. It's just easy viewing. It's fun. But I have, like, no theories. Like, I think I was telling you the reason why I had to get in and look up the descriptions is, like, I'll watch it, then I forget what happened the previous week.
Right.
So I don't know if that bodes well. I mean, what do you think? Like, are you with me? Like, I have no theories. I have no clue. I'm just here for the ride at this point because I think we only have 10 episodes.
You know, the thing is, multiple years in a row now, they've basically made it almost impossible until the last couple episodes to have a theory about who
Yeah.
did it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I do think that sometimes if you're watching a murder show, some people have fun trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
And so I could see it being frustrated if that's your only goal was to try and figure out who did it, because I don't think
I
like,
think if
they're-
it wasn't.
they're not doing a great job of dropping hints.
Yeah. If it wasn't like set up in a comedy way and it was just a typical
yeah.
like I would be irritated.
Yeah,
by the
but
lack,
because it's in the framing of a
Yeah,
comedy, it's a
like a
little bit easier to
sitcom.
take that as, oh, we're just here having a fun ride, and we do. And then the cast has their chemistry, and we enjoy that. So I think, I'm not that worried about who done it. They'll let us know.
Yeah, they'll let us know.
It can't be worse than last season.
You just really wanted Scott Bakula to be the person. Just admit it. Okay, so what else? Oh, Abbott Elementary. We did watch that, the season 5 premiere. And that's one show that we usually let stack. But as you said, we have no new shows. So I believe it was last night. We were like, we need to watch something like while we eat dinner. What can we watch? And I just happened to see that season 5 premiere. And school's not in session yet. So I like that they did an episode what a lot of teachers have to do, those in-service days, kind of those team building things, which every job I think has like weird team building workshop stuff. But this was an episode where they have the teachers come in and it was like all like, this is what's going to happen the school year. You have to go out and do these team building. And essentially, like, the guy, like, the actual team building activities he was trying to get them to do were a failure. But then they ended up coming together and actually doing a team building activity by helping Mr. Johnson, the janitor, learn to ride a bike.
Yeah.
Is that just like a sitcom thing? I feel like every sitcom I've watched, and I feel like it started with Friends.
Some poor
where-
adult doesn't know how to ride a bike.
So, like, and it's always the weird adult of the friend groups, like Phoebe. So, like, Ross gets her the bike. But I feel like I've seen this. I can't think of another show, so maybe I'm just thinking of Friends. But I feel like
Frasier
it's been
did it,
more.
didn't they?
Frasier,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
good job. So would Frasier have done it before? I don't know when.
I don't know.
I feel like that would have been. Those shows came out so close.
Yeah.
Because that was Niles and Daphne were already together, so that would have been the back
Later,
end.
yeah.
Because didn't like Niles' bike was like the weird, like someone stole their bikes or something. So they had to like borrow bikes. Yeah, and maybe it's just like a fun. They're like, let's get the weird people and make them ride a bike.
If we have any corporate CEOs listening, which I mean, probably not, can you just like stop it with the team building stuff? Like, for instance, the whole let's go around in a circle and all name an interesting fact about ourselves. Stop it.
Everybody
Stop
always,
it.
What would be your
Nobody
interesting
likes
fact?
it, and nobody remembers what anybody else said.
What would be your interesting fact?
I don't have one. Don't make me do that. That? Are you kidding me? The
I don't
last
even-
time that I had to do that in an actual situation, they asked what was the last concert you went to, and in front of a group of my peers, I had to say that I went to the
Pop 2000
the Pop
tour
2000s tour.
featuring O-Town, Chris Kirkpatrick of NSYNC, Ryan Cabrera, and BB Mac.
Yeah. So stop it.
And the thing is, like, what some people find interesting, other people might not find interesting, you know?
Right.
That's why it's always, like I might find, like, it's really interesting if somebody, like, ran a marathon where other people are, like, boring, you know? Like,
I just worry about, like, I guess, and this just could be me. Whenever I'm in those things, it's like, if I say something too out of pocket, but out of context,
then you're the
people
weird
are
guy.
going to think I'm weird. so I'm going to have to come up with the most beige answer I could possibly come up with. But then everybody thinks I'm beige.
I usually use my friends' celebrity connections for my thing. Like, hey, I went to the same high school Nick Swisher, baseball player, went to. Or I'll be like, hey, Jennifer Garner used to babysit one of my best friends. But if you don't care about celebrities, you're like, what?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I just stop it with those.
Well, so the guy from Shrinking, the patient, I remember his name.
Oh yeah. He's in
Abbott now because like it looks like Janine's gonna like mentor him.
Yeah.
Abbott Elementary is just a show that's easy viewing, funny.
You think this is the last season?
I don't know. Like I don't know if it's been confirmed or not. Like Quinta basically said like she doesn't see them making like thousands of seasons
because they're certainly building Barbara up to a retirement arc, and I feel like
without Barbara,
it's gonna be, unless they have her like maybe she comes in and like if they want to keep on going and have her on the show, she subs or I don't know, but they see because they're my viewing of the show, which obviously I admit I don't watch this show every episode like you do. They're very focused on at the school, and they don't do a lot of not at the school storylines, so it would be hard to continue to have her on the show if she's not full-time teaching in some capacity.
I do really like how they do the subtle like shout-outs. Like Melissa was wearing the Philly Super Bowl champion shirt like as a little wink. I want them to do another Always Sunny episode.
Okay, you did watch a show on Netflix without me.
Oh, that was very loud. I wonder if that'll pick up
Thank
on
you,
the mic.
truck.
I did. It was recommended
Wayward. Called a limited series. It
was recommended to me by my friend Grant. A limited series, I'm pretty sure that means we don't get a season 2. I felt like it. I mean, I watched it like in 2 days.
Yeah.
So I did really enjoy it. It was one of those shows that I liked the mystery. I liked what was happening, but they fumbled the bag on the finale. So it's on Netflix.
Before you go forward, can I tell everybody why I didn't watch with you?
Sure.
It's the same reason why I didn't watch the Sirens show with you. Because
they weren't mermaids.
Because in the Sirens show, they made it seem like there was going to be some sort of mythical mermaid situation, and that wasn't the case. And I clocked that within the first episode. So I was in here with you watching some of the first episode of this show, and they sure tried to make it seem like this was going to be like some sort of X-Men style school.
No.
And then it wasn't. And I'm just out. If they had like an X-Men school, I'd have been in.
Well, it takes place in 2003. And it's the description is a small town cop suspects that the local school for troubled teens and its dangerously charismatic founder may not be all it seems. So I think Toni Collette, is that her name? Toni? Let's look up what her name is.
Who?
Toni Collette. She's the one that plays like the founder of the school.
Oh, that's supposed to be somebody I know?
She's a really good actress.
Okay.
I should know her name. Why isn't it showing up? Gosh, what a mess. Toni Collette, yes.
It's a she's been in really good podcast.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Everybody.
She's been in a lot of stuff, okay? So Mae Martin plays Alex Dempsey, and they are a comedian. And I guess they had a big role in like writing the show because I kept wondering the whole time if we were going to get a flash forward to the future because I was like, why is this in 2003? And they basically explained that they chose to put it in 2003 because, that was when they were the age of like high school. And they had a friend that actually had to go to one of these like schools, which is basically, what do they say in Hocus Pocus? It's a prison for children.
It's just not an Charles Xavier school for for exemplary children.
Schools like that still exist, but I think they probably started getting more popularized. And because 2003, when you think about it, seems more of like an innocent time period, like not a lot of, I guess some bad stuff had already happened, but just in terms of like, not as much access to social media.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
There you go. That the internet's still fairly new and less like
that
Facebook
was what
doesn't exist
their
yet.
High school era was from, so they felt they could write it from that perspective. But like I kept waiting for us to have like a flash forward to like pay off from 2003, so I had to look all that up when I was done with it. But I thought the mystery was really good. Like there are schools like this. Like Dr. Phil sends some of those trouble kids, like what they do, like this is not a stretch. So on the show, it revolves around these two friends, and one of the friends gets sent to the school, and the other goes to try to bust the friend out and ends up staying at the school because they call her mom. And she has her own trauma, like her sister had died, and so it's like a lot of troubled teens. And they get the girl like in the middle of the night. They come into her house, put a bag over her head, stick her in her van, and take her to the school in this place called Tall Pines. So again, we are a spoiler podcast. So now would be your time to click to the next chapter. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Before I get into it.
In the sane world, we call that child abuse.
Yes, basically yes. So it's revealed later that Tall Pines, like everybody in Tall Pines, and that's where Alex's wife is from. Like Alex's wife graduated from the Tall Pines Academy. And his wife's being like all crazy and weird the whole time. And we find out that like everybody in that town, no one's actually had their own kids. So his wife is pregnant too, by the way. So that's going to be like the first like baby in the town. Everybody comes from the school, and essentially like the school director tries to make the kids like sever all ties with their parents, which I mean, I do think the parents are crap for sending them to this school, but maybe they don't quite know how bad it is. I don't know. I would never do that to my kid, but whatever.
They don't find out how bad the school is because the kids sever all their ties to the parents.
And they place those kids with other people that had been in that town. And it goes all the way back from like kind of like a cult-like activity of like the 70s. We find out that she took over from like the cult leader, and Jessica, her former student, that's Alex's wife, kind of does the same thing to her at the end, where she can, like, Alex is like, we got to get out of here. Like, this is weird, some weird stuff. But then it turns out that Jessica, she wants to kind of take over because she says she actually wants to make it a community. She wants to make it a better place.
Sure.
And you are left, one of the girls decides to stay at the school. So that sucks. The other one does get out. But yeah, it kind of, the ending felt like to me, like it felt like we had again, you saw me. I like flew through this.
Yeah,
I stayed up really night. It's just one of those things where the end comes and I felt like they didn't know how to really end the show in a satisfying way. So they just kind of rushed it. So it was like one of those shows that just fumbles the bag at the end. And if I was getting a season 2, I wouldn't be upset.
Right.
But I think people should watch it.
You don't know if you're going to get answers to these questions that they left hanging out there. Yeah.
Like, I thought it was really fun. It's getting some hate online for reasons I'm not going to go into. Google it. You know how people can be. I'm not going to talk about that here. I think it's unfair hate for stupid, stupid reasons. But in terms of, like, the mystery, I enjoyed it. I thought that I would stretch it out a little longer. I didn't. Narrator, she did not. She watched it in 2 days.
Yeah, that's what happens. Like when we don't have a shared binging show, is that I end up going downstairs and playing video games, and you end up just blasting through
like Hunting Wives.
Yeah, Hunting Wives.
Which we are getting a season
like
2 for Hunting Wives.
And we just end up in this place. So we really need suggestions for a show that we can stream that's got like 6, 7 seasons out there. That would be good.
We're going to tell you Love Island. Not a reality show.
Not a reality show. Don't come at me with reality show garbage.
And not Breaking Bad or Dexter. I don't want to watch those.
We should watch The Sopranos, though.
I would watch those even though I've seen the finale. I know how it ends. Anyway, we have a finale coming up this week. Peacemaker Season 2. Since we last talked to you guys, we've watched episodes 6 and 7. Their finale is planned for this week. I don't know if you're going to call it the series finale or not, but at this time, James Gunn has no plans for season 3. Is that correct?
That is what he has said, and I think you have a problem with this.
I do, because this show, I'm going to say it right now, if you guys are familiar with the podcast, we have our best thing going. If I knew I was getting a season 3, I think this show would be my best thing going. That's right, not only a comic show, DC, because I think at my core I am a Marvel girly. It's that good, you guys. Go watch Peacemaker.
Yeah, go watch Peacemaker.
Do you want to explain kind of what's happened with the past couple episodes?
Yeah, we've talked about this season a little bit, so I'm not going to go into too much depth. But Chris Peacemaker has decided that he's going to go live in the other universe that he's discovered because there's just nothing left for him in the one he's at. Because, Harcourt doesn't seem to be interested in a romantic life with him. And he's
depressed.
Father of the guy that he killed in the Suicide Squad movie is coming after him hard just for revenge.
Rick Flag Sr.
Yeah, Rick Flag Sr. And so that's kind of what happens at the end of episode 6 is that after they almost catch him, he gets away and he decides to go into the portal, close it, gives the thing that allows the portal to be open to his people and says, hey, if you give this to the agents, they will, reward you.
You guys
and
will get your jobs
you'll
back.
get your jobs back.
Lost their jobs. Yeah.
And then he goes to the better world, so to speak, quote unquote, to live there because he killed the Chris.
But Judo Master does make it in to follow him.
Judo Master follows him in. And then episode 7 is the 11th Street kids. They do not accept Chris's answer to this, so they figure out a way to open the portal, and they go in after him. And that's when we discover that it's actually not the ideal world of that Chris thought it was. It's basically a white supremacist, the Nazis, World War II. What is it? Earth X, I think, is what
Earth
the DC
X,
fans
yes.
are all calling it. So it's something established from the comic books. I thought they did a really good job. I've seen some criticism online of Peacemaker not recognizing this. Not recognizing what was going on until this episode.
Really? Because I have something to say about that.
I think that, well, I do too. And I think what they did really well was show off his, what's the word? I can't even think of the proper word for it right now.
White privilege?
His privilege. Yeah, the privilege was his privilege.
Male privilege as well.
Did not see any of any of these things. He was completely blind to them. And I think it was a really good, because the joke they make at the very end is like he saw the flag that had the symbol on it,
yeah.
and he saw the book written by the bad guy
like,
hanging around. But the joke was then there's this giant mural of the German, former German chancellor, and it's like this joke of like, how did you miss this? But I mean, I really do think it is, if you live in that privileged world and you're not looking for that stuff, it is so easy to look past things that you just don't see. And I thought they did a really good job. Yeah, really good job about it.
So I don't even exactly Harcourt gets in there, she figures it out in 5 minutes what's going on. All it took was 5 minutes. We got to Adrian. We were all wondering, what was the other Adrian going to be like? Exactly the same.
Yep.
Only he hates Peacemaker in that universe because he's part of the group organization that's trying to fight, those powers for making it a white supremacist type of world. We actually got, so canonically in this DC universe, Spider-Man,
apparently
does exist.
Spider-Man comics exist
because they did the Spider-Man meme. And they said it. We Spider-Man memed.
That was funny.
It was great. I'm a little worried. It's the end of the episode. We have them escaping to get back to our regular world. I'm concerned that the wrong Adrian went through the portal, and I want my Adrian.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot that happened with his dad and then his brother in that world, which we'll get into. Obviously they find out that's not the real Chris. The dad, I don't know, do you think the dad was sincere? Or do you think he was...
Oh, I think the dad was being sincere.
We'll never know.
I believe he was being sincere. I do think that you have to look... Because a lot of people... I've seen people online be like, well, his dad was good in this universe. And while I think what he was saying was sincere, you then have to look at people like the Earth X Adrian, who was actively trying to resist this regime and going... Well, he said what he said was he didn't believe in all that stuff, but he was just trying to do the best he could in that world.
Kind of hits close to home.
He wasn't really. He was still playing within the rules of that world, where he could have been joining with these other people to try and actually take it down. And so, while I think relatively, he was good in that sense, I still think that you can't just immediately let him go any criticism.
We have Keith, Chris's brother, who basically he's mad, which is I think anybody would be, but they start kind of attacking Keith, and there's this scene where y'all, John Cena has solidified to me that he's a good actor. I think he's better than The Rock. I said what I said.
Oh no doubt. In my mind, he's better than The Rock.
He sees them beating up Keith. He's bleeding because I thought our theory was he might still have to kill his brother again, traumatic. But they're all kind of taking care of it for him, and Chris is like in the back, and you just hear him go like, "Stop!" or like, "No!" like, and he just cries out. And when I tell you, like, I teared up watching that scene because it's just all the trauma he's been through, and then he's watching this happen, and I feel like he feels so lost. He's a good actor. Like, I think we've seen John Cena play that funny role when he's gotten into acting. Like, this is showing off his, like, I would have never guessed it, like a show, like, it was showing off his acting chops, but I think he has earned some applause for me. Because
100%.
Good scene.
And what I liked about it too is like you keep comparing to The Rock, and I agree. Like, he's better
feel like
than The Rock.
It's the easiest comparison.
I have never seen The Rock show any. Rock has always been cool guy in everything I've ever seen him in. He's just trying to play cool guy, no emotion. And John Cena's doing the absolute opposite of that, showing emotion, being a man that cries, being a man that like gets upset about things and is confused and isn't confident. And I think he's just doing a phenomenal job.
Absolutely. So we have the finale coming up. I have no idea if we're gonna get a solidifying. What am I trying to say? Satisfying.
Oh yeah.
Conclusion, because James Gunn has said, while there's no plans for season 3, we might see some of these characters going forward. I really don't want anyone to die. I'm kind of worried. I'm stressed about it because now, knowing that we're not getting to season 3, I don't know what's gonna happen. The last couple episodes have been so intense, kind of an emotional, like, gut punch. So I guess we'll see.
And I'll be interested to see what happens in this one too, because really, like, ultimately the plot, to get to the plot, which is the last thing that we actually watch this show for, but to get to the plot, the plot of the short story this season is wrapped. Like, Chris has been apprehended by the people in his world. He's in jail, and we know the rest of the team made it back, or at least we think the rest of the team made it back.
I'm pretty sure Keith is going to find a way to get
Keith is alive, so we know that he's going to try and make it back in, and we know from the preview that they're going to be exploring the other multiverses, so that's going to give them the opportunity to do that. So I really don't know, like, what part they're going to play, what part Chris is going to play in this last episode. In what's going to happen. So I'm excited.
Feels like they have a lot to do in one, so I'm a little worried, but I'm excited. All right, moving right along. Daniel's favorite reality show back, and probably mine too. Special Forces Season 4 is back. You don't have to watch the previous seasons of Special Forces to get into it.
But you should.
But this is high-key recommend it. So we have watched the first 2 episodes right out the gate. Johnny Manziel is taking center stage I guess I always assume, like, people are going to be in shape that are former athletes, and he's like, yeah, I pretty much just spent my time at the golf course, not the gym. Like, he struggled. Yeah. I thought he might, like, go out in that first episode because he was in pain.
Yeah, he was definitely winded. In pain. I think he was in more pain because they kept putting him in a vehicle with Cody. But
yeah, so I have watched Sister Wives. I know how horrible Cody Brown is. I told you how annoying he was going to be, and you were like, "Oh my gosh, get this guy off my screen." It does look like they're going to focus on Cody a little bit in the episode coming up.
I hope that means he dips.
There's some people that make good TV, and then there's people like him that I'm like, just get off my screen, go away.
I think episode 1 we had the earliest elimination.
She didn't even make it to base camp.
Yeah, I've ever seen in any of, what is this, season 4 now?
She's like a Vanderpump Rules person.
Yeah, like, she didn't even make it to base camp. She never even saw base camp.
What's the first time, like, what do I call them?
The DSs?
The DSs, like, have, mentioned the fact that these celebrities do get paid. He's like, anybody else just want to get their paycheck, now you can just dip. Like, it's the first time they reference that you do get paid to go on this show. Yeah. Like, you are getting paid to be there. I don't know if you get paid the longer you stay. I don't know how that works. Or it was...
I bet with how short this is, you probably just get a straight, like,
that's what I'm thinking. It's more of like a respect thing. let's see here. I feel like we haven't seen a ton from Shawn Johnson and her husband. I think it's very interesting that we have the family members, but they handled their family connection well, even though it looked like we had the last episode where they had to fight, which I think would honestly be the worst thing for me. Like, of all the crazy crap they do, I would hate to have to fight somebody. One, I'd be afraid I'd hurt somebody. One, I've never been I'm not a physical, like, person like that. I've never been in, like, a punching fist fight, so I don't even know what I do. I'm very scrappy, but, like, I think, like, if I would feel like the girl that, like, thought she broke Shawn's nose started crying, like, I would be, like, distraught, thinking, like, I hurt somebody.
Right.
But you could see, like, her husband on the side, like, he looked physically sick. Like, he was going to throw up watching his wife fight, but he still supported her. Whereas the opposite side, we have the mother and daughter, Teresa and her daughter, Gia. She's from, I think, like a Real Housewives show. We know her from Dancing with the Stars. I know she went to jail. They were so codependent, but not in the way that you would think. Basically the daughter is mothering the mother.
Yeah.
So she's getting ready to go out and fight, and her mom's like, I can't watch her fight. So Teresa just quits. And I'm like, that is the most selfish thing you could have done if you get in your head right before that. But then I thought it was really interesting how she even, like, agreed with Billy, one of the DSs, and he's like, do you feel relief that your mom's gone? So I kind of want to, I don't know anything about this girl, but I want to see her go a little further now.
I'm pulling for her. Yeah, I'm hoping that she does well, because I feel like
she could be a terrible person. I don't know,
but I feel like she needs a confidence boost, and I think that, like, this show could do that for her. And certainly at a minimum, it keeps her away from that mother for a couple more days, because wow, like, that was just such a narcissist thing to do. Instead of standing there and watching it and supporting her, to make a show out of it and leave right before she has to go do the fight, and then completely just psych her out for the fight that she has to do.
What did you say? Well, he calls it Dynasty, like the show, but Billy's looks like in British. She looks like she's there goes Dynasty. Oh, we had our first, I feel like, person that got, like, psych. Like, I'm sure they've always had a psychologist on set, but it was the first time we had, because there was a girl that, like, passed out. One of the America's Next Top Model contestants.
They were doing the thing where you're in a vehicle and they dip you under the water, and you have to stay in for a certain amount of time, and then you have to leave. And the entire time they were lifting them down. And by the way, they lifted them off like a dam. So it was like you had to like kind of sit there in your emotions for probably a couple minutes before it actually got down to the water level. And she was just like psyching herself out completely, to the point where she was able to.
She did the challenge.
She got out of her seat. She let her teammate know to get out of their seat. She went out the correct door and came up. When she came up and her head hit the top of the water, she passed out.
And I've never seen the DSs yell at each other before, but he was like, Rudy, get her, get her.
Identifying that as a problem. Yeah.
But she asked to speak to the psychologist before the fighting episode, and that was the first time we'd ever seen, like, I'm sure they've always been on set the whole time. But then, like, it was determined, like, that she just mentally, that's the first time I've seen them cut somebody for mentally not being able to do it, not physically.
Right.
And I thought that was telling, because in this profession, you do have to be mentally there to handle what these people go through.
And it's not just that you're a danger to yourself, even though you are. You're also a danger to the people around you.
Because she proved she could do it physically.
Yeah, she did.
And I thought that was really, I don't know. Oh, and can we talk about their location? They're in Morocco. We've been to Morocco.
We've
been through those mountains they drove through.
I was about to say, they haven't said where they are, but there's only one mountain range in Morocco, and it's the Atlas Mountains, and we drove straight through it when we went to Marrakesh and Fez.
Is that where I almost threw up on the bus?
And used the whole the bathroom that was a hole, the toilet that was just a little hole in the wall.
You didn't use the hole. I did. You didn't go in there.
Okay, well, I didn't have to use the bathroom.
Only the bad. And guys, when I say, I'm not using it like a metaphor, like, oh, it was a hole. No, y'all, I went into a room. I had to hike up my jeans. This is how bad I had to go.
A concrete floor.
A concrete floor with a literal hole in the middle of it. And I had to pay, like, was it dirham?
Yeah.
I had to pay to use the hole. But I can at least say that I've lucky me.
You can say you paid to use the hole in Morocco.
Yeah, so I can't imagine where they, like, blindfold them being on the curvy roads, considering I've been on a charter bus and I almost dry heaved and threw up several times. So go watch Special Forces. Speaking of reality shows, Dancing with the Stars. We've since gotten through episodes 2 and 3. I never thought I would see a TikTok theme, but we had TikTok night for episode 3.
Yeah.
It was fun, but I also seen a lot of memes that were like, they were acting like TikTok is like fed the hungry. Like, they were talking about like how it's changed their lives. Well, you and I were correct on who we thought was going to get eliminated for the first. We had the double elimination. It was unfortunate. I think Barron, the NBA guy, could have gone much further, but this is where it comes down to the fan votes. And then Corey Feldman. They were the first eliminations, and then the surprise elimination was on TikTok tonight, Lauren from Fifth Harmony. But I saw her scores. She kind of like fumbled a little bit on that dance. They didn't. I think they underscored her a little bit. But
I agree.
That's a whole other thing. But that just shows that if you are low on the leaderboard and you're not getting that fan vote, you will go home. And I am one of the people. Sorry, I won't vote for him at the end. But I like seeing. I think that Andy has actually improved dancing. And I like seeing his journey with Emma. Do I think he should take a finalist spot from somebody? No. I think it's probably going to be his time to go this week, or with the talent we have.
Yeah, like you
said.
said.
I want Ilaria. Get her off there, and then Andy can go next.
But you said
Who was voting for her?
You said you wanted Andy to get to Disney Week, which is what's coming up. So.
Exactly.
Hey, can I ask you a question? Yes. Robert Irwin. Oh. What year was he born?
Like 2003.
Yeah, that's correct.
I've done such a good job not like being cougary with him, and then Whitney's like, we're gonna choreograph, and it wasn't their best dance. He did look a little stiff in it, but it didn't matter. She like removes his shirt, and I'm like, the body is tea, and I'm just like, ah, like he could be my son. No, I would have been a young mom if I had him, but
I mean, yeah, but.
One of my friends, like, she didn't even watch Dancing with the Stars, but I, like, posted a video. I was like, I've watched this way too many times. It's embarrassing. She's like, yeah, because of the thing you posted, I Googled his age and was, like, so freaked out to see how young he was. I do think that now that we know that he can move a little bit, I don't think he's not the best dancer. I still think Whitney, who I predicted could win, Whitney and Mark, I think they've had the best dances. I think she is the best dancer currently. I think you're right. Like, Robert's going to win. I don't see how he doesn't win.
Yeah. Especially,
because he can move.
And the thing that blew my mind this week that I didn't even contemplate it when I picked him was that he has the most TikTok followers of everybody on the show. And listen, somebody on at least one person on the show is billed as a TikToker.
Yeah, Alex Earl.
And he has more TikTok followers than her by like a wide margin.
And so he can dance well. He's partnered with Whitney. I think he'll take, because he was a little stiff in those moves.
Right.
I was just so distracted by how he looked. I had to go back and rewatch. I think he'll take criticism well.
He
actually think he, like, Bendy, his sister, won. I actually think he might be a little bit better than her. I don't know what. It's really hard to compare men and women celebrities because I think it's harder for the women celebrities because they have to do more than the men. I'm sorry.
No, I don't disagree. No, I don't disagree with you. Like if you are trying to ballroom dance, in the traditional fashion, like the women are doing more than the men, and the tough thing for the men is the strength part.
Yeah,
like that's something that some men, clearly not Robert Irwin, but some men who have a problem with, like the lifting and doing all of that kind of stuff. But yes, in general, like the technical aspects of the moving around, the women have it harder.
Rumba is harder for the men because that's where they really have to lead.
Yeah.
I know that's a dance they always say that's difficult. Okay, so...
I mean, we're both feeling very good about our picks, though, right? Like, I picked Robert to win. You picked Whitney.
I think they're going to be in the finals.
Yeah.
For sure. I think the only way Robert loses is if he starts getting bad scores.
I agree. And at this moment, I've not been given any reason to think that he's going to fall off. I think he's only going to get better.
Yes, and he does have a good pro. I think Whitney's finally going to get her. She's always been like the queen of coming in second. I think she's finally going to get her mirror ball. It's very confusing because we have Whitney the pro, then we have Whitney the celebrity.
Right.
Okay, so Reddit is always like Dancing with the Stars Reddit. I feel like I argue with more people in there than I do any other my other Reddits. We were all like, why is Ilaria still? Who is voting for this woman? By the way, could you tell that Alec Baldwin was told, like, hey, you look miserable?
Yeah.
Like, he was smiling this week. He was sitting with Kris
somebody
Jenner.
said, hey, man, you're an actor. Could you, like, put a smile on?
Try not to look miserable, please. So he, like, the camera was, and he was smiling. I'm like, well, that's intentional. Who do we think is going to, I hate when they do eliminations on Disney. week. Who do we think's going home tonight? Because the episode would air at the time of this.
You know, I know, like, they don't tell us who. If they say the bottom three isn't necessarily in order.
Yeah,
I do feel like it's got to be Andy or Hilaria. I know there's a lot of people voting for Andy, but he's not going to get the scores. I think the thing
really have a heavy
keeping Hilaria in is her dancing ability, and I don't know that it's fair that she goes because I think she's a good dancer. I think it might be unfair she's on the show to begin with.
Yeah,
but that's a whole other issue.
Yeah.
We're past that at this point.
It's one thing to have dance experience. It's another thing to actually have beaten a fellow ballroom dancer in a competition.
But I don't believe that she's going to have the votes. So I think it's going to be her or Andy tonight.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I am a little worried for Elaine, though. I'm a little worried.
Who's Elaine?
The Parent Trap that dances with Alan.
Okay.
Because she's been like one of my favorite ones to watch.
I will be very disappointed if she goes because I think I would, if I had to pick who I thought was going to win and after 2 weeks who I thought could be a dark horse to win.
Yeah.
Just from a dancing perspective, and she is great. But I agree with you. I'm not entirely sure the millennial gals are going to be able to hold the line for her.
I think that Dylan, who's with Danny, I think he's going to be the next like Danny Amadella. Like I think that you're always like, who's like a lot of people
the Efron
like
kid?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think you're right. Every time you say Dylan, I'm like, who is this? Because he's
Dylan Efron.
What do they bill him as on the show?
I'd be like Belly Conklin.
What do they say he is?
With Dylan and Zach.
Yeah, what do they say he is? Like, what is because he's Zac Efron's brother.
Reality TV star from
Reality
Traitors.
show. Okay, so he's been on Traitors once. An
an
absolutely terrible reality show. You know what? Good people watch all kinds of stuff, but Traitors is a terrible reality show.
I just seen one episode of.
That's all I needed to see. I just completely forget who this guy is, but I do agree with you. For some reason, he's going to stick around longer than he probably deserves.
A lot of boomer women watch the show. He's hot. Younger people think he's hot. He can move well. I think he's a better dancer than Danny.
You think he's going to soak votes from Robert, though, in the hotness factor?
Yeah. I think people will vote for both of them.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm very excited for Disney night, though. I know we're getting a Wicked night later. I'm looking forward to that. I think this season, Alona, who got second last year, was like, she tagged Dwight and Steven in an Instagram post. She's like, wow, guys. She's like, us athletes would have sucked if we were on this season because everybody is really, really good. So it's definitely, I feel like Andy is much like Lauren, who left last week. I think she had the ability. She could have been a finalist.
Yeah.
She just didn't have the votes.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like in general, everybody's really good. There's not like that standout top of the class person, but everybody is better than average.
What's funny to me is like all the new fans that have come to this show. Like I have been watching this show since literally I was in college and I came home from break with my parents. Like this is not like Lauren being a
You've been watching this show since before Robert Irwin was born, or just shortly after.
He was born. He was a baby. He was already
Could he walk
born
yet?
In 2006.
Okay, yeah, probably could walk.
Daniel. Anyway, we've been around where like contestants like Bristol Palin wasn't a very good dancer and she made it to the finals. Cloris Leachman, may she rest in peace. Like a lot of people liked Cloris, but she was not a great dancer. She lasted. Sabrina Bryan had a shocking elimination. This is part of the show. It always has been. Yes, it comes to dancing ability, but it also comes to likability, getting those fan votes. So I'm just like, I feel like that like first time.
Yeah.
Like, there were people that were like just stunned about Lauren, and I'm like, first time.
You got to actually like vote for the people that you want to keep around. Like if all you do is sit there and put all your votes towards that one person, the chaos is going to ensue when it comes to figuring out who's there. And I do think I told you this the other night when we were talking about it, that I think the problem right now is like there's 3 or 4 people soaking up all the votes, and what that's causing is chaos at the bottom that lets people like the girl that went last week go, just because so many people are getting some of the top 3-4 people are getting all those votes.
I feel like the judging could be a little like or the scoring, excuse me, not the judging. I think they started him off too nice again.
I'm going to tell you right now, in the Lynn Goodman era,
he would have been throwing out threes.
What, 2?
Yeah.
There wouldn't be 8s getting
Amon
thrown
Schubert,
around.
who won the show, was getting 4s his first couple weeks.
Like, I'm sorry, 8s shouldn't be being given out in week 2 or 3. Like, I just refuse to believe.
I'm not sure Lynn Goodman would have been down for the TikTok night with some of the songs they had. I miss Lynn. He was the best judge. He was the best. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I always looked forward to hearing Lynn. And I know Derek's kind of filling that role, and he does well. And he brings his own, like, panache to it, including the whatever is going on with his brooches that they just seem to be getting bigger every single week.
Every time he wears one, you know what it reminds me of? You know that episode of Friends where Ross has to give the speech?
Yeah.
And Joey and Chandler spill the stuff on Phoebe. She puts, like, the giant Christmas bell. And, like, I'm being political. What are you doing?
Actually, that's not the one. I thought you were going to say it was the jacket that Ross got his mom for Christmas that one year.
Oh, that's... Look at all these authentic war medals. Now I'll tell Phoebe wears a big... Oh, there's a reference for everything. Well, on that note, do you have anything else to say?
No, I do not.
All right, I'm going to go listen to more